Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, and welcome to the grand opening and dedication of the new Richland City Hall. This one's been a long time in the planning. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we have an exciting program prepared for you, which will be followed by a ribbon-cutting ceremony dedicating our new facility. We'll then invite each of you to stay and enjoy some refreshments in our atrium, just inside the door here, tour the facility, and meet with our staff. And please bear with us as we have some other construction projects in the area that are improving the Swift Corridor just behind us. These improvements were delayed slightly due to the snow event this winter, but they should be finished this August and will add some on-street parking, bicycle lanes, and improved traffic signals. We're going to begin our festivities today with a flag-raising ceremony. We'll be raising the American flag for the first time here on this campus. Here to assist us with that effort are the Columbia River Young Marines. Will everyone please stand?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Before I introduce the mayor, I'd like to share a few facts about our new facility. The building is 3 stories tall, includes a basement, and is about 40,000 square feet in size, and it took approximately 18 months to build. There's about 100 employees assigned to this location, and this building combines 3 aging facilities: the 840 Northgate building, also known as the 703 building, built in 1943, the old City Hall, and the old City Administration building, built in 1979. These services and employees are now under one roof and allow for a one-stop shop of services for our residents. The merging of departments and business functions is a benefit to our residents as well as our employees. Both will lend to improved communications and operations, an increase in efficiency in customer service and employee relationships, as well as improved safety for all. The new building is ADA accessible and utilizes current software and technology. The total project cost is about $18.5 million, and the important part to that number is that we did not have to raise taxes for any of the Richland citizens. So we're very conservative in our budgeting, and we were patient and voted our time, and we're able to do this without raising taxes. The city opted to use a design-build approach for this project, and we used a similar approach when we built station number 74 in South Richland, and we were pleased with the result. We could not have completed this effort without our contractor and construction team. So thank you again to Leone and Keeble and to Architects West. In addition, we had the support of all city staff. We came together as a team like we never have before, and I want to recognize them as well. This effort required collaboration with each department within the city. I want to especially recognize our project manager, Darren Sweeney, for his passion and commitment to this project. And now to speak to the plans for the overall vision for the Swift Corridor, as well as plans for the old City Hall site, I'd like to introduce our mayor, Bob Thompson.
First off, thank you all for coming here. This is kind of a realization of a dream, isn't it? I'm one of the few senior statesmen, I guess. I'll call myself that now that I'm in my 7th decade of life, where you kind of look around and you go, God, I'm still here, one. And I was born, and that building across the street was there. Okay, so I want you to think about that for a second. When I was believe it or not, I was a Richland City intern in 1977 with a guy by the name of Coons as the city manager. And we had plans in 77 to rebuild City Hall. So I want you to think about that. And then I want you to think about what Richland was as opposed to what it's become. Back in the old Atomic Energy Commission days, everybody studied everything to death. Richland was no exception because most of the citizens worked out at the site. And that has never left the city of Richland. It just hasn't. And the nice thing about being a council member in the city of Richland is the most egalitarian town in the world. And what I mean by that, everybody's idea is at least as good as yours, maybe even better. And nobody is shy about giving that opinion to you, which makes it a great community. And it's totally different from a lot of other places that I visited. And so it's a reward where a vision has come true. You know, when a city makes a vision, city council gets together and determines what they think their future should look like. You look at population, you look at how the city may change. You look at guys like John Fox, who's been here since the very beginning, if I understand it correctly, John. John, I don't think you're recognized. Would you stand up, John? This is the former mayor of the city of Richland, who, frankly, I don't think this would have happened without his leadership. Driving this thing forward. There's always a lot of reasons to not do the right thing. Usually fear, cost of money. Citizens don't think it's really the right way to spend money. So I'm an attorney, right? And so I look at ADA compliance, I look at asbestos, I look at issues, and I look at the old City Hall. And we were talking about that in 1977. And we're finally out from that albatross. And what we've done is we've created and finished a vision for the city of Richland. But that vision isn't just this building. It's the Swift Corridor. If you look up and down the street, and again, I mentioned RAND for a reason, because the partnership with Columbia Basin, Cadillac Hospital, us, and look at the changes that have happened to our community in the very short term. And that was the vision that council came up with. I think people lose sight on what it really takes to have a vision and stay with it. It's easy to have a vision, but you got to sell it. And the current council followed through, but the visioning process happened much earlier, and it didn't happen without having dedicated staff members who saw the vision and worked with other community leaders, whether it was Tridec, the different ports, and just the citizens, to be able to get a better understanding of what works and what doesn't. This is a culmination of a dream that the city of Richland has had for a number of years. You know, the idea is to make the downtown to the river, calm traffic, and that's still a little controversial. But this is an integral part of that plan. People like to complain about things that they didn't know. These things take since 77 to come up with a plan that you could actually work. And it came up at no cost to the citizens. It's not really true. I want to explain that to you, because what happens is cities go out in bonding, and as bonds mature and they get paid off, it gives you a higher debt load, but you're not really paying any more millage tax for your property tax. Back in the day, the city of Richland used to get most of its revenue, about 70%, from what? Property tax. We thought that was a lousy way to do business. So we got into the idea of, forget the residential stuff, maybe we should do commercial and get sales tax. I'm proud to announce that we've made that change. And projects like this are what makes the difference. It took vision, took a lot of hard work, and a lot of people got beat up along the way. And so I'm here to thank all those people that got beat up, because sometimes you got to get beat up to do the right thing. This building is a testament to the right thing. This corridor, the city of Richland, the improvements that have happened in the last 15 years all happened as a result of a vision and not wavering from that vision. And so I think that's important for everybody to know. And if you learn a lesson today, learn that commitment is really what it's all about. If you have a vision, if you don't have commitment, it doesn't mean anything. and your community loses. Richland is a wonderful place to live. If you had a place to live, where else would you live, if you think about it? We're about the right size for not having too many problems, and we're the right size to move forward. That's what makes Richland great. And we're just, I look at our council and I look at our staff, we're just a testament to the citizens of Richland. Without them, we wouldn't be here, and nothing would have got accomplished. But I do want to say we had a lot of partners. Any vision from a city perspective only happens if you can partner, because you can't do it by yourself, because you need allies. And you need a vision. You got to jointly vision. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize. You just don't go out one day and I have this bright idea. You've got to sell it, and you got to get the partners to do it. Who are the partners with Swift Boulevard, the corridor that we've proposed? First off, Cadillac. Done a great job. You look at the improvements that we have over there, the parking garage. It is perhaps the best medical complex in Eastern Washington. Spokane might argue that point, but I don't know if they really can anymore. Columbia Basin College, over here. Done some great things, bringing nursing programs in. WSU branch campus. The idea of the Government Service Association, and the federal building guys who control the parking lot, we were able to access that property for very low cost because it's government and it makes sense for the community. I really want to thank everybody who's been involved in that. I always forget people. All I can say is we are blessed to have a great community. Citizens, you're really blessed to have people who care about your future because you drive us to do the right thing. And finally, I just want to say, Richland City staff, kudos to saving us money. The design-built process actually works, saves money, it's on time. And I wish other cities in the Tri-Cities, who are represented here by various council members, pay attention, because it's a way to build projects that keep you under cost and under budget. Again, without leadership like my city staffs, that of the councils that came before me, this wouldn't have happened. So again, to everybody, congratulations, because this is really not a government victory. This is a community victory. And so with that, let's applaud everybody that was involved.
Thank you, Mayor Thompson, for those words. Our next speaker is your city manager, Cindy Rance.
Well, good afternoon. This is amazing. I am so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to see all of you here. I don't think it's very often that we have so many people come out to celebrate with us, so it's really exciting, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Joe. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here to celebrate with us today. This really is a historic day. Our organization theme or mantra for our new City Hall and our subsequent move has been keep moving forward. You will see several of our staff around here with these t-shirts on, including myself. We will be wearing these and bearing this phrase from today on. After conducting business, as we have for several decades in separate facilities, as Joe talked about earlier, we were providing services the way we've always been doing it. And you can imagine that as we moved into one building, that there was a little bit of trepidation. If you've ever moved, even your home or any offices, you could see that it's a little scary. But when it came to changing workspaces, business practices, and culture, we got through it. We appreciate our staff for their commitment to this change, and we've all been in this building together for about 2 weeks now, and I can already see benefits it leads in collaboration and improved services to our citizens. I got the chance to meet with several citizens as they walked through the building, and I got to give them a tour around the area, and it was really nice to see their eyes light up as I was explaining how we've moved things from the old City Hall to the new City Hall. Got lots of compliments about our water feature over here, but mostly really proud of their building. So I just wanted to share that with you. I wanted to provide a brief history of Richland to you all. I can't do justice as the mayor has done, but I do want to say the building was built over here in 1958. We're all aware that the area has a rich Native American history, and that Captain William Clark of the Lewis and Clark expedition canoed up the Columbia River to the mouth of the Yakima. The first cattle ranchers arrived in the 1860s, but settlement did not begin in earnest until the 1890s when farmers began to irrigate the lower Yakima Valley. One of those farmers was named Nelson Rich, after whom the small settlement was named after in 1905. The town was incorporated in 1910, yet for decades remained a tiny agricultural village. When World War II arrived, Richland had only 247 residents. But then, in 1943, the federal government acquired Richland, and the town unincorporated as part of the Manhattan Project. By 1944, the population had boomed to 11,000 people, mainly due to workers at the Hanford site. By 1950, Richland had 21,000 residents and was nearly double the size of nearby Pasco and Kennewick. Can't say that today. In 1958, the federal government relinquished ownership of Richland, and it was incorporated as a first-class city. Richland has evolved since it was reincorporated in 1958, from a war-era, government-centric town to a family-friendly, recreation-focused population of nearly 57,000, and Richland today boasts diverse industries and a priceless quality of life. Today, we look forward to new beginnings and exciting possibilities, while also reflecting on our history and legacy. To honor our past, we have some items that we incorporated into this new facility that came from the old City Hall. This building holds a cornerstone, ground concrete and other materials that we removed from the old city facility and combined with new materials when we poured our first footing right over here. We also watched as a dozen of our facility staff rolled an original safe door weighing nearly a ton, very gingerly, across Jadwin Avenue. This safe door is proudly operated in our customer service area today. The water feature you see to the east of this is entitled Waterworks and was created from a pipe that distributed water directly into our old facility right from the Columbia River. And now it pumps water out of our basement on a regular, continuous basis and really gives us a nice feature out here that all can enjoy. An original table and chairs from Hanford Engineer Works is being preserved and will be displayed in the future. And WSU master gardeners harvested plants from the mature landscape and took cuttings to place elsewhere in our community. We have preserved signage and lettering, and we will bury a time capsule in the very near future with contents originally discovered when building the Hapo stage in John Dam Plaza. I want to pay respect to and honor our leaders throughout history who made important and difficult decisions since our inception. You will see photos of our 17 mayors who have served since 1958. All of their photos are displayed in our council chambers. We encourage you to take a look when you're on your tour today. While there, you will see a photo of our very first mayor, a female, the only in our city history, Mrs. Pat Merrill. In those early days, she led a council with little to no staff and limited resources and relied on committees and volunteers to run our city. Unfortunately, Pat passed away a little over a year ago, and she is not able to be here with us today to witness this next chapter in our city's history. However, members of her family are joining us today, and I would like to introduce them to you. David Merrill, will you stand? David is Pat's youngest son and is joined by his wife, Darlene, and their 3 daughters, as well as their family members. Would you all please stand? Thank you. Thank you for coming. David was a young boy when his mother served as mayor and has memories of taking many family photos to commemorate her service. Thank you for being here and honoring your mother's legacy. As the city's first female city manager, in a small way, I think I'm a part of her legacy. So thank you very much again. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to our citizens for their patience as we have navigated through this project. The citizens of Richland are passionate about their community. Thank you for helping to make Richland a great place to live and raise a family. This is a celebration. Again, we invite you to tour our new facility. Staff will be here to greet you and show you how we can best serve you. Thank you very much for coming.